Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Regarding the concept of God, a very serious misconception which is generally found in Muslim minds is the notion that man is God's vicegerent or Khalifa on this earth. And it is generally thought that since man is someone who has inherited this position by virtue of being the vicegerent of God, so therefore man must exercise the rights which have been blessed to him by the Almighty with a lot of caution and care. Now, the verse from which this notion has been derived is in Surah Baqarah, and the words of this verse are Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa, which means that God is saying that I am going to make a khalifa in this earth, which in other words means that He is intending to make someone who has power and authority. Now, the word khalifa has primarily two meanings. One of the meanings is, of course, what people have understood to be someone's successor or inheritor of power, and by virtue of that he assumes a position of power and authority. And the second meaning is a person who is merely vested with power and authority. And here this second meaning is in fact implied, and this is we can be absolutely certain about it, not only grammatically but also from the reaction of the angels when they were told that when God told them that He's going to make a Khalifa on this earth. They said that aren't we enough to glorify you? For you, if you make such a human being or such a person, then he will create a lot of disorder on this earth. And they knew that this would occur because God is blessing him with power and authority. So it was very clear to them that someone who has power and authority is being created by God. And as far as grammatically the construction is concerned, had it been of the same meaning as a vicegerent, then it should have been qualified either by the article alif lam, which defines a noun, or by a governing noun, or the mudaf alayh, like saying khalifati, which would mean that God is saying that I am going to create my khalifa on this earth. And we know that none of these two situations is the case in this verse. So therefore we can safely say that this is an erroneous conclusion from this verse. As far as man is concerned, he is a creation of God, of course. He has been created to worship God, to follow His ways, and this notion of being the vicegerent of God or the caliph of God in this earth is an absolutely erroneous notion. It has no basis in the Quran, and it has no basis in the original sources also. And we can perhaps be reasonably certain in saying that this notion has arisen in the last couple of centuries, and it was non-existent earlier on. So we have to amend our concept, and we cannot say, it would be erroneous to say that man is God's caliph or man is God's vicegerent on this earth. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات.